Avoiding words and substituting words. Sure. We all do it. I know I do. Let's jump right into this question someone has on social media. The person says, is it just me or can anyone relate? We can definitely relate for sure. When you are having a conversation and suddenly get that block, like you know you're going to stutter on the next word, do you quickly think of a similar word that you probably won't stutter on? I've been doing this for years. For example, say, what is for dinner? And instead, I will say, what is for supper? So substitute the word supper for dinner because maybe you stutter on the word dinner. So then the person goes on to say this has actually become quite a habit and they got quite good at it. So I totally understand. And yeah, let's just quickly unpack this. So to start with, let me give you some of the words I substitute. My name. So I'd say JJ instead of James. Where do I live? I can't say the word Emmarentia, which is a suburb in Johannesburg. I used to live there, so I'll say near Cresta. If I'm got to say hello to someone and I can't say their name, I'd say, hey friend, hey, what's up? What's going on? Say PC instead of computer. Say pretty instead of beautiful. Say the second month instead of February. That's crazy. Someone else. So what's the month now? I can't say February, so I'll say the second month of the year. People look at you strange then. Say plan instead of strategy. Say stats instead of statistics. So instead of replacing the whole word, I shorten it. Instead of saying congratulations, I'll say well done. Instead of saying motorcycle, I say bike. And this list goes on and on and on and on. And one of the problems with this technique, and I won't really say it's a technique, it's more of a coping mechanism, is the list of words that you avoid gets longer and longer and longer until it gets to the point where you can get quite stuck. Like, so for me, I would also try and maybe pretend that I don't know the word and then try and get the other person to say the word. So say, oh yeah, so what's that company that makes like windows and office? And I'll be like, oh yeah, what's that computer company's name? And I can't say Microsoft because I'm getting stuck on the so I can't say Microsoft. So I'd say, oh, it's that company, yeah, it's that guy who was the richest guy in the world, Bill Gates. That company, and then the person will say Microsoft. And I'll be like, yeah, that's the company, because I can't say Microsoft. So what is this called? So it's called word substitution or even word switching. So you think of another word to say instead of the word because you are anticipating that you're going to stutter. So I anticipate that I'm going to stutter on the word computer. So instead I say PC. I'm pretty sure if you're a person who stutters, you do this. Sometimes trying to say that word seems like a huge mountain in your mind, and it really weighs on your mind. Yeah, so why does this happen? Well, it is very common. It's that anticipation. You start to get that anxiety. A lot of a stutter is what's happening in your mind, because like I can say Microsoft now, fine, no problem. But if I'm in a stressful situation, I could battle on that word. There's nothing wrong with my speaking. My tongue, my mouth, my vocal cords can say the word. It's more a case of that, it's the stress of the situation or the anxiety. It can become a habit. Like, it's just easier. You've got a lot of challenges in life and you don't want speech to be one of them also. So it's just an easier way. Like if you know maybe you're going to fight on this word, maybe you can't say your name, and you know it's going to be this huge challenge every day, and so instead you just give yourself a nickname that you can say. So for me, instead of saying James, I'm JJ or Double J. And then, yeah, it's something that can become a habit, and it actually shows how clever you are. That you can, while other people are just talking normally, your mind is racing ahead, thinking of every possible word that you could possibly stutter on, and then quickly on the fly thinking of words to substitute or switch in the moment. So that's actually takes a lot of brain power to do that. So well done. Other people who don't have a stutter don't have that huge weight on their mind. And sometimes if you keep doing this, it gets to the point where people don't even understand what you're trying to say. So I went into a shop one day. I was in my must have been about 17, 18 years old. I still remember that shop clearly. It was at Rosebank Shopping Mall. And the guy I was asking for, I wanted the user manual for something I had bought. I wanted the user manual. But I was really battling with my speech at the time, and I couldn't say user manual. So instead I said the comic. I couldn't think of a word to substitute. So I said comic. I said, no, I want the comic. I want the comic for this thing. And the guy, the gentleman in the shop who was helping me, he was just looking at me like, what are you saying? You want the comic? Yeah, I want the comic. I couldn't say user manual. Eventually he understood. I felt really embarrassed. I felt a bit ashamed that I had done this. So yeah, sometimes it gets so bad, the word you're trying to substitute isn't even a good word to substitute, and you can't communicate effectively. So what can you do about this? First of all, I understand completely, as I've done it a lot. I really understand. I think the concern is that over time, the words that you're going to substitute get bigger and bigger, the list. It impacts on your confidence because you know that you substituted a word. Other people don't. So let's say, for instance, you say supper instead of dinner, or dinner instead of supper. No one will know except for you. And you know that you substituted a word. So that can really reduce your confidence. And for me personally, I would feel like a little bit ashamed. Like I have to substitute words because I can't say the word. The other challenge is that there are some words that you can't substitute. So like questions like, where do you live? What is your name? What is your friend's name? What is the restaurant's name? You can't actually substitute. There is no substitute. That word is the word that is used, or in your job, or at school. There's technical words that you have to use that word. You can't use another word. So what can you do about it? The first thing you can do is use that word in another situation on purpose. So use that word. Let's say I battle to say McDonald's. Don't wait until you have to say the word. Use it up front. So for example, I could be driving by and I say, oh look, there's a McDonald's. And I do it with a technique. So maybe I sat and stumble on the word, but it's no big deal because I don't have to say the word in that situation. I'm saying it on purpose. So use it on purpose. Then the second thing you can do is use the word, but use it with a technique. So, for example, use a soft contact or use a prolongation. So for me, I get stuck on the for Microsoft, for McDonald's, for Marina, for Mike, all those M words. They really used to trip me up. But now I've got a toolbox of techniques, and now, oh look, there's a McDonald's. I do like a soft contact on the M. And then the third thing you can do is maybe stutter on purpose, and I did a whole video on this, but stutter on purpose. So say, oh look, there's a McDonald's. So I stuttered on purpose. That way I'm in control of my stutter and I don't let my stutter control me, which is very, very powerful. You are in control of your own speech. You're not a victim of your speech. You are in control. And then the last thing you can do is congratulate yourself. For other people who just talk normally, don't have a stutter, they're like, oh, there's a McDonald's. It's no big deal. They didn't spend any extra brain power on that, any extra effort. But congratulate yourself. Say, well done. I used the word McDonald's. So really give yourself that win. Now what you will find is that over time, if you start facing these words, so instead of avoiding words, you start to use them on purpose. So whatever the words are, whatever that list is that you've got, pick one or two of those words and try use them today in a situation. Then over time, you'll see that the list of words that you avoid, maybe there's like 100 words that you avoid. Over time, it'll drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, until you find that you're no longer avoiding words. And there's a lot of freedom in that. Then you're not stressing about your speech. You are just able to communicate effectively and say what you want to say. So let me know how it goes in the comments. Let me know if these tips have helped. Let me know some of the words that you avoid. And as always, please like these videos. Please subscribe. Please share. There's someone right now who is avoiding words, who's sweating. There's someone now who's on the phone, who's in a shop, who's talking to a friend, and they are avoiding words and their heart is racing, they're feeling anxious. So help share this video, help get the word out so that the person like that, who could be you, can maybe have some options and not suffer so much. Anyway, all the best, and I'll chat to you guys later. Bye.